Coming up in today's video, guys, we've got loads of big earwax plugs for you. My name is Rhys, Barber. I'm one of the audiologists here at Audiology Associates.
And my name is Taylor Green. So there's a couple of patients in this video, and first one you're looking at now is yours.
It's mine, yeah. So I thought this was just going to be a really soft plug that was just going to get all sucked inside the Zollner tube. But when we got a grip here, managed to detach it from the canal wall. But take a look at this plug when it comes away now. Look at the size of that plug. It came away really well.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I think it was in their boot somewhere. I think that one. But it was really large. I was totally threw me because I expected it to just be this really soft plug that came away really easily with a bit of suction. But yeah, it was a massive old plug. So what we've got here is just a little bit of dry keratin around the entrance to the canal, and it's quite normal to get these kind of drier skin pieces around the entrance. You do tend to sort of, they form a little bit of a ring around the outside edge, but it's come away nicely. This is the fine end on here as well, just to reduce any risk of clarinetting.
Oh, it's such a pain to remove these like pieces of pieces of skin. Like dead skin is the same thing, even when it's softer, because it's still attached somewhere and it just doesn't pull away. I
find this technique works really well. It's just dropping over the top and kind of almost not scraping, but running back over it. It just helps to break those little pieces off. This was a far more humid canal, this one, you can see straight away. But what we've got here, this is the standard size on the tube. There is a little bit of a gap there, so the sound was getting through okay on this side, but because the patient had so much difficulty with their other ear, they wanted this one cleaned out at the same time. You can see a little bit more sticky, this wax plug here. But look at that coming away.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, it's got a bit stuck. Oh, it's got a bit stuck on the way out, but there we go. Out that comes. Let's take a look beyond.
It is something actually. I think that a lot of wax removal specialists would recommend if you go in with a problem with just one side. But they can see there's a build-up in the other side. They would recommend having the two done, and it just saves you having to come back at different times to. And it saves you a bit of money as well because you don't have to pay twice.
Exactly. And I think what I would say is if you've got a problem with one side and you're coming along for an appointment like this, just put some oil in both ears because you never know. It's not going to do your ear any harm to have some oil in there, but if there is some wax there, it does make a big difference as far as us getting that out as well. It does make a big difference that way. Somebody in the comment section said the other day that I think it's in the US, they don't really recommend using olive oil. It's not a sort of well-known thing to use, so but yeah, this did work. So 2 centimeters, 3/4 of an inch. If you want to see another big earwax plug, I'm going to put a card, if you're watching this on YouTube, up in this corner up here to another video. I'm trying to put link you back to a couple of the older ones from when we first started on there as well. So yeah, take a look at that. It's a good video to watch.
So this is mine.
This is yours.
This is my patient. Yeah, very deep. Patient had confessed to sort of using cotton buds occasionally, and I thought this was going to come away nicer than what it actually did. I was kind of half expecting this whole thing to just come out in one go, but the suction wasn't really doing a great deal for us here, so we got the forceps and just trying to get a little grip on that sort of leading edge there. You can see we've managed to pull this away quite nicely, but sorry, I need to remember to always slow down at the end to show you what's come out. Which is better doing that than me.
You kind of get caught up in the moment sometimes with what you're removing. You're like, oh, came away, and then
excited.
You forget. It does happen.
So it's just kind of left this very thin layer now that's pretty much right up against the eardrum. Probably could have done with putting some oil in to make my job a little easier. It's
always a difficult call though, isn't it? Because if you put oil in, does it make it more mushy when you've got that, nice solid pieces coming like that?
So yeah, we've managed to just tidying up now. We're just trying to clear up as much of these little bits as we can. Now with these loose, tiny little spots that you can normally see running across the ear canal here, we're not going to make this uncomfortable for the patient, and we're not going to try and poke and prod, because that it can get really uncomfortable for some patients. So we normally just recommend a few days of olive oil following the procedure. That should just help to soften these tiny little bits up. Or maybe not even for a couple of days, just continued use for about once a month. There's no harm in.
Well, if the patient's been using some Q-tips and stuff, it does make a difference.
Yeah.
If you want to see another deep earwax plug, we had a really difficult keratin plug that was really deep. I'll pop a card up there. If you probably just saw it a second ago, but I'll put a card up there for you to have a little look at that one as well, guys. That's an interesting one to watch. I forgot to say how big that was then.
I think it was about 2 centimeters.
Yeah, it was just under an inch. There you go. So this is my patient now. So what we've got here is more earwax plugs for you as well today, guys. So we've just got all plugs in today's video. But you can see here we've got a grip on the outside edge. Patient has been using some olive oil. So this is starting to come away really, really well. Let's give this a little bit more of a wiggle. Everything is collapsing down into the Zollner tube there. Oh, a bit more, nearly. Bit more.
Joe, I had a really, really frustrating one yesterday.
Yeah.
Lady had eczema.
And
the ear was quite, it wasn't quite swollen, it was a little bit swollen.
Yeah.
The ear canal had a very narrow, sort of bendy kink in it, and the wax was like this. It was too big to get it out, but at the same time I couldn't get the tools behind it. It was so tight.
I've got one of those coming up. I think it might be the next video we're on together. I think I've got one of those as well coming up. Yeah, with the narrow ear canals.
Can see the future.
Yeah.
Ahead of vision.
That's it, yeah. Wet wax premonitions. I had well, look at this. Wow. That's a big, Joe, that plug I actually dropped. It bounced off the patient's shoulder and landed on the floor, and it made a noise when it hit the floor. It was that hard as well, that plug was.
Patients now having their shoulder reconstructed.
But that ear canal looked lovely and healthy after we got that out. And, I've put some extra olive oil in here just because I saw what the other side was like. This was a classic example of what we were talking about earlier. Patient didn't really feel they had any difficulties on this side, didn't oil this side. But you can see there's almost the same size plug in here, and it is bone dry.
And it happens all the time. As soon as we clear the one side out, most of our patients are like, "Oh wow, that's a massive difference." And then they stop for a second and they go, "I can't actually hear that well on this side."
I realise how bad the other side is. Yeah, it always happens. It's always the second ear. It's the worst one to do. Another big chunky wax plug that came away there. Just tidying up this outside edge. There we go, look at that. Guys, don't forget, if you do enjoy the videos, you can always like, heart, share, follow, and subscribe for us. That would be absolutely fantastic. And if you have ear problems yourself, check out the link tree in the description. You can book yourself an appointment with myself and the lovely Mr. Taylor Green. If you want to see what I think is the biggest earwax plug I think we've ever pulled out, I'm going to put that up there somewhere if you'd have a little look at that one. That was a chunk. These are minuscule by comparison, guys, so make sure you check that one out. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves.
Take care of your ears.
And take care of one another and myself and lovely Mr. Taylor Green. We'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.